'Cause when the music fades and all is stripped away, and I simply come, longing just to bring something less of worth that will bless your
Happy 32nd week
heart.
in Ordinary Time as we head into our second week of November, the last of the church's calendar. And today, there's a reflection on the feast of the dedication of St. John Latter, the church's head cathedral over in Rome, the seat of the Pope. And in each of the readings, there's an image of temple, and the temple of heaven, our body being a temple, a caring for this temple, a cleansing of the temple. And so our reading set before us this notion of temple, that sacred space where God is encountered, God is worshipped, and God saves. This notion of the flowing water coming out of the temple and washing clean the people in our first reading. It's also just after the baseball playoffs have finished. The World Series is starting to wrap up. And I can't help but think, talking to athletes and coaches, of that great legend, Mr. October, Reggie Jackson. In 1977, he was given his nickname. Legend has it by his teammate who said, "Go talk to Mr. October over there," after his great hitting game, but also for his clutch performance, in which it seemed like no game was too stressful, no moment too above him. And he would just hit and hit and hit for the Yankees and the Athletics. And it's almost become a defining moniker for people who perform well in baseball. They say, "Oh, they're just a Mr. October." They're just someone who's really clutch. But in November, we as Christians, we think of the four last things: of heaven, of hell, of death, of judgment. And we do that because we remember that ultimately everything that we do, everything that we say, all that we are is directed towards getting into heaven. And our readings remind us of that God's temple in heaven that washes us clean through the sacraments is meant to clean the temple of our very selves. That our body is a temple. Why? Because the Lord dwells within us. And therefore, we become great places of encounter when we encounter other human beings, to encounter the Lord in them, to love them, and then also to steward them in heaven as they're called to do us as great teammates. The greatest victory we can achieve is walking with the Lord in heaven. So we as Christians then really should not just be glorifying that which makes us Mr. October, that which makes us excellent in our sporting capacity. We also should be glorifying that which makes us Mr. and Mrs. November, that which makes us excellent in holiness. The month of November reminds us that our ultimate call, our ultimate destiny is heaven. We're called to be holy. We are temples. We're called to cleanse those temples of things that are not of God. We're called to be washed by the temple of God through the sacraments. We're called to beautify our temple, not just our body, but our souls. So let us then remember those great saints, those Mr. and Mrs. Novembers who rise-eyed in heaven, who were clutch in the life of virtue and the life of holiness. Let us imitate them in all that we say, all that we think, all that we do this November as we get ready to celebrate Advent and soon to Christmas in December. May God bless each and every one of you.
So with being a college basketball player, I find it really important to establish balance within my life. Like I can't be always playing basketball 24/7. I gotta establish some faith, some gotta have friends and family that I can rely on in my faith life. Is going to adoration after I have some workouts in the morning in class. I have a little time slot that I can go to adoration and kind of get away from the world, get away from the busy world that I'm accustomed to with basketball and school and just the loudness of the world. I can kind of go to adoration, read a little bit of scripture, just take a deep breath, just look up at a crucifix and just kind of thank God for the day. I pray for all my friends and family and just I apologize and I say I'm sorry for all the sins I've committed. Another big thing I like is after I do a workout, I'll sometimes get in the cold plunge and I'll kind of be hurting sometimes from a workout and kind of like real tired, and I'll kind of just take a deep breath and ask God for His strength. And I sometimes have Philippians 4:13 in my head. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, which kind of it helps me get on with my day and kind of and stay focused on God. Another big thing is just kind of being conscious of God in my everyday life, like throughout the day. Like if I'm getting down or something, or like I'm like, dang, like that workout wasn't great, or like that practice wasn't great. I'll kind of just like when I'm walking back to my car or something, I'll just take a deep breath and just I'll ask God to just be present to me and to just be with me in that moment. And then I like to at night, I'll be laying in bed, just kind of take a deep breath. As I said, I love taking deep breaths to kind of just relax myself. And I like to listen to this Hollow app that has a bunch of different prayers, bunch of different videos that you can listen to, and it kind of just helps me to end my day. And yeah, that's it.
'Cause when the music fades and all is stripped